If you've spent majority of your life in manipulative relationships, like I have, emotionally immature relationships, or relationships where you always had to manage someone else's emotions, there's a really good chance no one has ever actually held space for you. Holding space refers to creating an emotional environment where another person can exist exactly as they are without needing to become someone different for the other person's comfort. And if you've never experienced that, you may not even know what it looks like. So let's talk about it. Number one, they stay present when you're in pain. They don't immediately try to fix it. They don't minimize it. They don't tell you to look on the bright side, and they don't usually start talking about something worse that happened to them. They stay with you. They allow your grief, your anger, your confusion, your numbness to exist exactly as it is, because they understand that pain doesn't need to be edited before it's worthy of being witnessed. Number two, they don't make your pain about them. This one is huge. If you've ever tried to tell someone that they hurt you and somehow ended up comforting them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Healthy people don't collapse into guilt. They don't become defensive. They don't start explaining why your feelings are inconvenient. Instead, they stay with your experience. They recognize that your emotional reality deserves attention before their need to protect themselves. Number three, they validate your reality, even when it's uncomfortable. Validation isn't saying you're objectively right all the time about everything. Validation is saying, I can understand why that felt the way it did. They don't immediately question your memory. They don't argue your perception. They don't assume that because your experience makes them uncomfortable, it must be inaccurate. Number four, they ask what you need instead of assuming what you need. Sometimes people need advice or comfort. Sometimes they don't need either. Sometimes they just need another human being willing to stay with them while everything hurts. Healthy people don't assume. They ask, do you want me to help you think through this? Do you want solutions? Or do you just want me to sit here with you? That question alone can completely change how supported someone feels. Number five, they can witness your pain without falling apart themselves. This doesn't mean they don't care. It means they're emotionally regulated enough that your distress doesn't immediately become their emergency. They're steady. Their nervous system doesn't implode just because yours is overwhelmed. And because they stay grounded, you finally have somewhere safe to land. Number six, they remember what you've shared. Not perfectly all the time. Nobody remembers everything. But they remember the things that mattered. They follow up. They ask how your appointment went. They remember the anniversary that was difficult for you. They check in after the conversation is over, because to them, your inner world isn't just something they listen to once. It's something they continue caring about. Number seven, they don't require you to take care of them while you're hurting. This was probably one of the hardest concepts for me to learn. If you've spent years in one-sided relationships, you probably learned that expressing pain came with another job. You had to reassure them, calm them down, explain yourself, make sure they weren't upset, manage their guilt, manage their shame, manage their anxiety. Healthy relationships don't work that way. Sometimes you're simply allowed to be the one who needs support without earning it or apologizing for it, without carrying someone else's emotional weight at the exact same time. Number eight, they aren't afraid of your intensity. Your sadness doesn't scare them. Your anger doesn't automatically make you too much. Your trauma doesn't make them pull away. It doesn't mean they tolerate abuse, of course. Nobody should be abusing anybody here. Boundaries still exist. But your emotions themselves aren't treated like a threat. They're treated like information. Something worth understanding, not something that has to disappear before you're acceptable again. Number nine, they know how to meet you in silence. Some moments don't need advice or explanations or even words. Sometimes presence itself is the support. People who know how to hold space understand that silence isn't abandonment. Sometimes silence is exactly where healing begins. And finally, number 10, they don't rush your process. Healing doesn't happen on someone else's schedule. Healthy people don't get impatient because you're still grieving. They don't expect your nervous system to recover simply because enough time has passed. They understand that healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel okay. Some days you'll feel like you've gone backwards. And they'll still be there. Not because they need you to heal quickly, of course, that's actually exactly what we're saying isn't supposed to be happening. That should not be an expectation. But because they care about you more than they care about the timeline. Holding space isn't about having perfect words. It's not about becoming someone's therapist, and it's definitely not about fixing another person. It's about becoming emotionally safe enough that someone else no longer has to perform wellness just to stay connected to you. Because sometimes the greatest gift you can give another human being isn't changing how they feel, it's just making sure that they don't have to feel it alone.